All right, it's 3 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to our final webinar in the Hidden in Plain Sight series. I hope that you've found something useful from participating in this series. If you've missed any and want to go back and review them, I will give you their direct link at the end of this presentation today. It's also found on our website, the NUES website, so you can get it there if you want. Just a reminder, I tend to read a script so I don't ramble and so I can keep it to that 30-minute window. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to talk about apps that are concerning, hidden apps, and other sites that might raise concern. Even though these are the topics for today, I want to acknowledge how quickly apps are being developed and created. This was probably the most difficult of the several that I've done for the Hidden in Plain Sight series, the most difficult presentation to research. Part of the reason why it's the last one, but also difficult because things are constantly changing. I am recording this on April 28th, 2025, and some of the apps that I researched and finalized on Friday, April 25th, may have already be obsolete, and there's new ones being released every day. Most of the resource websites that I will share with you were created or modified less than 1 year ago, and we will never be able to stay ahead of the developers. So I'll give you resources that you can use to try to stay at least a bit in the know. Also recognize that what is popular in one area of the country or even the state may have already worked through their system or could still be coming. Many of these apps have been mentioned to me by kids and teens in our northeastern Utah region as recently as last week. What I'm going to share with you are apps that appear on several lists of apps of concern, lists of concern, as well as some that might be unique. What is interesting about these lists is that on one site, an app will be listed in the most dangerous for teens and kids to use, and on another list, they are listed as a great app for teens or kids. Why is there that difference? In doing my research, it was evident that if the app is used as it was originally designed, it can be great. But many apps, as you know, have alternate uses. And when it takes in that alternate usage, that is where the problems become existing. I will also admit that when we get into terms like dark web and jailbreaking, I understand the premise, but I don't have the technical background to understand how it completely works. Also, a reminder that most of our kids are using apps appropriately. However, we can't stop what we don't know, so we need to try to get a little bit in the know.
So these days, it seems like new apps are popping up constantly. We're seeing posts in PITW like, does anyone know what this app is? Does anyone know this app? But there's always a consistent group that we would deem the most dangerous apps.
Right.
So what exactly are the 5 that we would consider the most dangerous ones that parents need to know about?
Here we go. You ready?
I am.
Snapchat, 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 and Snapchat.
Well, if it could work that way, absolutely it would, because it is the worst.
Oh, it's the worst.
So this is a conversation about current dangerous apps that was released. The video was released just last week. It's a 20-minute video, so we aren't going to watch all of it today, but I wanted to have you hear that first minute or so. Of course, they have other apps that they described in the video. I will be mentioning some of them, and others we won't talk about today. If you want to watch this video, I will be giving the link here that you can see right now in the PowerPoint that will show up on the website as well. So let's dig into the one that they said is the most prevalent, Snapchat. Snapchat is probably the most well-known app with teens. It is known for its disappearing messages and multimedia content. However, it can also be used for cyberbullying and sexting due to the disappearing nature of its content. While Snapchat states that users must be 13, there is no strict age verification, and it's easy for underage children to create accounts. I was in a conversation on Wednesday of last week with a group of SROs who had done a presentation with middle schoolers about Snapchat. The obvious answer to their question about why is Snapchat so popular was messages disappear and people can't see them. The students had no idea that Snapchat actually does save them, and the pictures can be accessed later by whether it's law enforcement or Snapchat administration, whoever might be in that circle. As Snapchat has continued to evolve, there are some increased features that can improve safety, but they also have features that decrease safety. For example, the Snap Map feature allows users to share their real-time location with others, which can be a risk if not used carefully. Snapchat, like other social media platforms, can be a platform for unwanted contact from strangers, bullying, or inappropriate content. Snapchat offers a family center feature that allows parents to see who their children have been chatting with, but it doesn't reveal the content of the messages. Kick, which we'll hear in a minute, that same video, uh, one of the individuals in that video is going to talk about Kick in a minute too. Kick is a messaging app that allows users to chat with strangers anonymously. Just like most apps, there is an age requirement of at least 13. However, there is no verification process when creating an account. When a user creates an account, they will see a home page with two buttons. One button invites them to find a public group to make friends with similar interests. The other button says Meet New People. The app offers free and unlimited texting through a Wi-Fi network. When chatting with a stranger, they can send photos, videos, and GIFs. I don't know. I've heard it said both ways, GIFs and GIFs, at any time. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure there was messages on here. So I wanted to make sure I was meeting those needs. Kick's live streams feature allows users to view public live streams that other users are broadcasting. Many of these streams feature men and women wearing very revealing outfits and behaving in sexually suggestive manners. No parental controls or safety features exist to keep children safe while on this platform. It has been associated with cases of online predators and cyberbullying. Kick is designed around meeting new people, so contact with strangers is inevitable when using this app. Hala is a random video chat app that connects users with strangers. Hala offers a space for teens to mingle, sharing their life through photos and videos, and expressing themselves in a creative and engaging environment. The option for users to interact without revealing their true selves can lead to safety compromises, potentially opening doors to risky or unsuitable exchanges. The ease of accessing and sharing visual content can inadvertently lead to exposure to explicit or disturbing material. A lack of robust parental control features complicates the task of tracking and managing children's activities on the app. Ask FM is an anonymous question and answer social media platform. The anonymous nature of Ask FM allows users to post hurtful or inappropriate content without revealing their identity, making it a breeding ground for cyberbullying. Users can link their other social media profiles to their Ask FM account, allowing others to find more information about them and potentially follow bullying from one platform to another. Ask FM has limited privacy settings, meaning that both questions and answers were publicly accessible, even to non-users. The platform is not monitored for content, and inappropriate content is easy to find. Users can report violent, pornographic, or hateful content, but profiles cannot be reported. Lender is designed to bridge connections by utilizing location technology to introduce users to new people in their location, introducing new conversations, friendly banter, and the prospect of in-person meetings. Beneath its social surface, Blender's framework raises several red flags for parental consideration. The app's local meetup premise may expose young users to interactions with individuals whose intentions are not aligned with their well-being. The app's lenient age check process allows for age misrepresentation, broadening access beyond the intended demographic. Isn't that a cute dinosaur? I think it's so cute. This app must be for our littles, right? Actually, it's not. Big O Live is a dynamic platform that invites users to broadcast their daily moments, showcase talents, and engage with an international, yes, international audience in real time. Despite its potential for creativity and connection, Big O Live introduces various concerns that necessitate adult awareness and action. Not all broadcasts on Big O Live are suitable for all ages, with instances of inappropriate behavior and content that could be detrimental to young viewers. The app's virtual gifting mechanism might prompt users to spend substantial amounts, raising financial concerns as well. And the addictive allure of live streaming and the relentless pursuit of attention and validation can adversely affect our kids' mental and emotional health. Confide has carved a niche in the messaging app market with its robust privacy features, offering end-to-end encryption and self-destructing messages designed to shield sensitive exchanges from prying eyes. Sound like any other app that we might be aware of? Confide employs stringent measures to ensure conversations remain confidential. Messages vanish post-reading, suggesting that they do not leave a digital footprint. But is that digital footprint really non-existent? The app's ability to erase messages post-reading might also inadvertently facilitate risky or inappropriate behaviors among minors. Confide has been very popular with teens sharing inappropriate texts and sexting. The strong emphasis on privacy emboldens users, including young individuals, to partake in personal exchanges with unknown entities. The last one that I'm going to share with you is Whisper. Whisper is an app that lets users share secrets and confessions anonymously. This anonymity, I can't say that word, sorry, can lead to inappropriate and harmful interactions. I could continue to shower you with apps that are concerning. I think we understand that apps that allow interaction with others have inherent risks. Even though there are hundreds of apps out there and trying to know them all and their concerns is not possible, apps are getting shut down. For example, Omegle was an app that was shut down in 2023 because it became known as a conduit for explicit material. What's interesting about that is even though it has been closed down for 2 years, it is one that is still talked about regularly in some circles. Periscope is another one. Periscope was shut down in 2021. It was an app that allowed users to live stream their real world moments, but there was limited oversight and harmful or explicit content that was easily accessed. It's interesting to learn that we have these other apps, Confide, Blender, any of those that are still in existence and have come out since Omegle and Periscope have been closed down. So we want to continue to be vigilant about what is being used by our teens. This was a news story from January of 2025.
With new apps that pop up just about every day, it's hard for parents to keep track of what might be harmful to their teens. I'm 7 News consumer anchor Diane Lee with a local teenager's honest insight into what parents really need to know. The endless and enticing array of apps are all in good fun until they're not. But don't take our word for it. 16-year-old Reese, whose parents prefer we not use his last name, has a candid take on how some apps can leave teens vulnerable.
Like on Snapchat in particular, all the time I'll get added by some random person and I don't know who they are. And when I talk to them, they're like, send me a picture of yourself, give me this other social media account that you have. Where are you from? Where do you live? What's your age?
And while Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram dominate the news when it comes to apps and teens, Reese says it's the ones parents haven't heard of that can be most dangerous.
If you want to go onto Wiz, I could go on right now and probably find multiple people who would come to my house to interact with me in multiple different ways. And it's disgusting and it's strange, but it's true. I could genuinely in 30 minutes have someone at my house.
Wiz is a meetup app that claims to transform how young people connect, share, and grow together.
A lot of kids will use it to find other people that they would like to interact with in an inappropriate manner. I've heard of a lot of people who go on there just to find people to hook up with, and they're underage.
Law enforcement agencies throughout the nation have released a top 21 list of apps parents should know about. Some specialize in social media, others specifically dating. But what most share in common are the messaging features that allow teens to connect with strangers. There are also the type of apps that act as a vault where teens can hide content, leaving parents locked out of hidden media. Calculator is one of several secret apps used to hide photos, video files, and browser history. The App Store is full of dozens more. Rick Floyd, head of information security with the Greenville County School District, says the key message is parents need to monitor their kids' phones. Are you hearing about strangers reaching out to kids, or what's the reality there?
Yeah, it's not uncommon when I'm talking to children and I ask how many of you have communicated with an online stranger, like playing games on the apps. Almost every child in the school that has that app and admits to having an app raises their hand.
One way to monitor is through installing a third-party program like Bark.
In 2023, we analyzed over 5.6 billion data points and found that consistently the top most dangerous apps for children included the ones they're using all the time, right? Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Discord, Spotify, Tumblr, even apps like WhatsApp and Kik. The list goes on and on and on.
Bark Chief Parenting Officer Titania Jordan says of all those, the most concerning is Kik, which allows anyone to contact and direct message your child.
Kik is a cesspool. It is horrific.
As for monitoring, Reese says an open dialogue about dangers is more productive than parents exerting too much control, which he says may backfire with teens.
At some point in your life, every single person who uses these apps will experience something dangerous. And if you can't handle that situation, if you're not educated on how to handle that situation, it's going to go poorly.
With
So,
new apps,
in doing research for this webinar, I came across this request on a platform such as Reddit, and it had the subject line, app that can disguise one app as another. Hi, this is their direct message. Hi, I'm a high schooler who is trying to decrease my screen time on social media. I'm looking for a way to basically put one app's icon over another. The idea is that when I mindlessly open a social media app on my phone, I will instead be opening my language learning app. Is there a way to do this with an app? Do we really think that this high schooler is trying to open their language learning app and decrease their social media time? Maybe. I also think there might be some other things behind that request. In the video, they talked about those vault type apps. So this is one that they mentioned. This app is called Calculator, but it's actually a secret photo vault that can hide photos and other files. Calculator Photo Vault can secretly hide photos, videos, and other files without anyone knowing. Your files can be secretly stored in a vault and can only be viewed with a numeric pin when the numeric pin is entered on the calculator panel to this app. So even if you open the app, it still looks like a calculator until the right combination of numbers are entered as your pin. What is crazy is here's an image of an app that is actually a calculator. The differences are so subtle. It would be hard to know that one isn't really a calculator. For this reason, calculators are the most common type of hidden file apps, but they aren't the only ones. These apps are also all file hiding apps. Looking at the logos of the apps, I wouldn't have thought any of them were anything other than what the image implies. A clock, maybe an emergency symbol, location settings, and maybe a music app. Some of the file hiding apps encrypt photos, videos, text files, and only allow access with a password separate from that of the phone's password. There's even a panic feature that closes the app immediately. These apps are good reminders that we should never assume we fully know what teens are up to. While lists like this one can scratch the surface of what's popular, there will always be a world that can be hidden away from one simple panic gesture. Some of the names are obvious of these apps: Vaulty, Hide Photos, Gallery Vault, App Lock. But when we are just looking at the icons, we don't usually see the name of the app. One of the things that you can watch for on some apps is the logo might have a lock symbol. Some of the file hiding apps, also known as file lockers, have a padlock symbol that helps you know that it might hold hidden apps or hidden files. With a simple search, I can also find step-by-step instructions of how to customize the icon of an app. So if I like one of these apps better and don't want the lock and key symbol present, I can find a neutral image or even a picture from my photos and change the icon in just a few steps. So that high school student who wanted to disguise their social media apps as language learning apps, it is possible to do that. Not only are there apps that help hide files, but various manufacturers, iPhone, Android, Google, etc., have also built processes in their systems to hide files, photos, and apps. If you don't know how to hide or search for hidden apps on your device, YouTube has a whole library of instructional videos to help you do that. Or you could probably ask one of the teens and they would be able to help you do it. These websites have lists of apps that look like games but are hidden messages, or hidden messaging apps. You can explore these lists to see what is out there. So many of our app developers create images just like that cute dinosaur that we showed earlier that entice people to have that on their device, but maybe it's not as innocent as the image implies. So jailbreaking. This was something new to me that I went down a rabbit hole of trying to understand. And like I said, I do not have the technical background to understand it, but it was really fascinating. Jailbreaking a phone or device means removing the software restrictions placed by the provider, Apple, Android, etc., which in turn grants users access to a higher level of control and functionality. This includes installing apps that exist outside of the normal app stores, modifying their operation systems and appearances, and accessing certain features that are not available to regular users. Then there are jailbreak apps. Jailbreak apps are software programs that can be installed on devices after the device has been jailbroken. Jailbreak apps are not usually available through your regular app stores, but those third-party providers. These apps often offer functionality that the manufacturer might not approve of. These tools are gaining traction among the teenage demographic, offering pathways to circumvent standard restrictions and conceal app presence, thereby unlocking a realm of untapped digital potential and privacy. Key features of jailbroken apps are jailbroken devices can access special app stores like Cydia, CYDIA, allowing users to download apps not available through the official app store. This idea of third-party app stores opens a whole new world of concern. Jailbreak apps enable users to customize the look and feel of their device, including themes, icons, and even the behavior of the operating system. Some users jailbreak their iPhones to unlock them and use them with different cellular carriers, bypassing their own restrictions by the carrier that they have the contract with. Jailbroken apps may offer features that Apple doesn't allow, such as recording calls or playing older games without buying the original copies. They can also provide access to the file system and command line tools, making it easier for developers to work on iOS devices. Jailbreaking can create security vulnerabilities as users are potentially accessing software from untrusted sources. Jailbreaking most likely would void the device's warranty, and while jailbreaking is generally a legal act, some jurisdictions may have restrictions on jailbreaking for certain purposes. So then, in that rabbit hole that I went down, it led me to the dark web. The dark web is accessed through specialized browsers and apps like Tor browser, Tor, for Android or iOS, or Onion browser for iOS. These apps use techniques like onion routing to provide anonymity and access hidden websites on the dark web. So let's pause for a minute and define onion routing. Onion routing is a method of transmitting data through a network of encrypted connections where each connection is only decrypted by the next node in the chain. These layered encryption, much like the layers of an onion, hides the source and destination of the data from each individual node, making it difficult to trace the communication path. Imagine you want to send a message to someone in a remote location. Instead of sending it directly, you wrap it in several layers of encryption and send it to a trusted friend in a different city. Your friend only knows the next person to receive the message and doesn't know the final destination or the content of the message beyond that. That friend then forwards it on, and then so on and so on until the message reaches its final destination. In essence, onion routing is a way to make communication more private and secure by hiding the path and contents of the message from each node along the way. Once on the dark web, there are a variety of websites, tools, and communication systems available to the user. These are some of the resources that I use to help prepare for the webinar. One of my favorite resources is the first one, the Common Sense Media site. It allows you to search for not only apps, but also movies, TV, books, games, and podcasts for rating and age-appropriate materials. It has been said multiple times through this webinar series that not all of our kids are engaging in these risky behaviors or accessing inappropriate materials. But for the few who are, it is better for us to know what is out there. In just a few days, there will probably be more substances to learn about and new apps being released. At least you have a little more awareness as to what is out there today. Just a reminder that if you have an educator license and want relicensure hours, you need to complete the form for each webinar you watch. At the end of next month, I will add your completed hours into Midas system, and your participation will show on your Midas transcript. If you are watching this after May 28th and relicensure hours recorded on, and you want your relicensure hours recorded on the Midas transcript, you'll just need to send me an email so that I can update your participation. And not finally. If you missed any of these previous webinars, they are recorded and can be found on the nucenter.org mental health supports page. You can scan this QR code or go to the website listed and it will take you directly to the different webinars. Since so much of the material changes so quickly, I'm not sure how long I will leave them on the website, but at least through this summer. And finally, a big thank you to those who have participated in this webinar series. It has been a learning experience for me to see all the challenges our students are experiencing. I hope that I was able to provide you with a little bit more information to help you support either your students or your own kids. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and thank you for participating.